Hello, magical creatures, goddesses, and goddesses. How are you doing today? I am so excited because on this week of the Pleasure and Prosperity Show with Michelle Zackerson, the dancing healer, I'm having Brad Yates, EFT, internationally renowned tapping expert on my freaking show. It's Brad Day. We've been counting down for about a month now. Hi, baby. Thank you so much for watching. Hello, Angelia Photography. I'm so excited to have everyone here. Brad is coming on. Welcome, 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 everyone. Welcome to the show. It's Tap with Brad. How are you today?
I'm excellent, thanks. How are you?
Oh no, your audio. I cannot hear you. I'm not sure why. I think this happened to another
Uh,
interview with you recently, so I know you did something and then it worked again. Hello, welcome, welcome, everyone.
let's.
Marcia, all the people chiming in. Let's tap for audio to be working. Even though the audio is not working right now, I fully love and accept my Pleasure and Prosperity show. Hello, Steffi. Hello. Everyone's coming in so quickly. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Michelle Zackerson. You can hear Brad. Okay, let's see what's going on here. See if my volume is enough. Mind, I have a speaker on. Okay, so I'm gonna put in something else that has to do with my microphone. That might have been the issue. Thank you for letting me know that you guys can hear him. Let's see. How is everyone doing? Tell me, where are you watching from? If you're watching live or you're watching the replay on my Instagram TV or YouTube channel, Sexual Empowerment with Michelle Zackerson, and let me know where in the world you are watching from. I would love to hear. All right, Brad is coming back. He's just logging in again. We'll see if it was his end or my end or just the universe. Hello, can I hear you now?
Can you hear me now?
Everyone else can hear you but me. This is frustrating. It might be my speaker. I'm not sure. Like my microphone. Not sure why. Let me just unplug it. Hello?
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes,
Oh,
I can hear you now. Like those 90s commercials with the bad cell phone service. I know, right? Even though we're having technical difficulties at the beginning of the show, I fully love and accept myself. Oh, thank you so, so much for being on my show. I am excitable on a good day. So an amazing day where I have a YouTube star that I've been following for some time because of Gabby Bernstein. I have a few books beside me that talk about tapping that I'll show everyone. So, so, so excited to have you here. I tapped actually to have a good night's sleep, and then I had a dream that I was like, what time is the interview? Did I miss it? And I'm like, I tapped on this, dang it. So yes, thank you so, so much for having coming on my show. I find sexual empowerment, sex, love, and relationships, there's some tapping on sexual empowerment, so I'm so excited to dive into this topic with you. It's so important for me, shedding sexual shame, guilt, disgust, embarrassment, and celebrating curiosity and pleasure is what my show and myself as a sexual empowerment coach is all about. So thank you so much for being here. I
my
actually
pleasure. I'm
also
happy to be
love.
here.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm so, so happy to have you here. I also love humor, so I really wanted to start this interview by telling you a dad joke. Is that cool?
I'm all about the dad jokes.
I know, I know. Are you an actual dad? Because you're like the internet dad, right?
I, there is, Gala Darling and her whole high vibe honey group call me Tap Dad. So I made up a T-shirt that says, "Who's your tap daddy?"
Oh my God, that's hilarious. I know, I
Yes,
did.
I am an actual dad. I have two
You
kids.
are. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. You actually kind of remind me physically, like you look like my dad too. Um, so how does a T-Rex pay the bills?
I don't know. How does a T?
Tyrannos- Tyrannosaurus checks. I've got two more real quick, then we'll
Okay.
get to the subject. How do billboards talk?
I don't know.
Sign language. I know, they're bad, and I love them. I love dad jokes so
So
much.
everybody be tapping.
Yeah. Tap through the bad jokes. And last one, actually, you know what? There's two more, but I'll give you the last one. It's actually from Gary Craig, the founder of EFT. On his website, I found this one. Do you know what they call it when a cowgirl marries a cowboy? A Western Union. Anyways, welcome everyone to the Pleasure and Prosperity Show. I love Brad's humor and it being really light, and actually really loved your Schitt's Creek tapping. I identify very much with Alexis, being bougie and beautiful and looking for love in all the wrong places and liking the finer things in life. So that was really hilarious. My partner loves the show, so I showed that to him. It is such an honor to have Brad in the show, on the show today. Brad, pardon me?
Wherever I am.
Wherever you are. The internet is a weird place, right? Are we in the cat videos place? Are we in the tapping place? Like, I don't know. We're
I think
gonna
my
laugh
cat's right
a lot.
outside the door, so it could be a cat video.
There you go. Perfect. I know. I always say on Zoom or online with COVID, if there's no pet or child on a Zoom video, is it really a real Zoom call, you know?
Yeah.
So I would love to introduce Brad. Brad has over 175,000 subscribers on YouTube. He has 32 million streams of his videos. He has over 1,000 videos on tapping, EFT, emotional freedom technique tapping. Just an incredible dedication to this practice and spiritual and scientific healing, which we're going to get into. He has worked with amazing best-selling authors such as my favorite spiritual guide, Gabby Bernstein, who wrote The Judgment Detox, and she talks about tapping here, and also has worked with Jack Canfield, another OG, original gangster of spiritual development, right up there with Louise Hay, and Nick Ortner, Jessica Ortner, who organized the Tapping Summit, and it was the 13th annual this year, and they have the Tapping Solution app and tapping books. And Joe Vitale Bob Doyle, he is the author of best-selling children's book, The Wizard's Wish, and co-author of the best-selling Freedom at Your Fingertips. He was also a featured expert in the documentary, The Tapping, and continues to be an expert speaker at the annual Tapping Summit, which just passed, hosted by Jessica and Nick Ortner. I'm so excited. He's probably sick of me promoting this event, but I don't care. I'm so excited to have Brad here and really talk about an amazing, beautiful embodied practice. So just a little intro before I ask you the first question. I just want to say that for me, I'm actually an ex-lawyer turned life coach and then sexual empowerment coach. I have 3 university degrees, 2 law degrees, and I spent 7.5 years in my master's. All this to say I've been in my head a lot. And it was actually back pain that brought me to sexual empowerment and embodied practices to heal. And EFT, it's actually Nick Ortner who gave a bunch of Tony Robbins people a Date with Destiny in December, a free premium membership to his Tapping Solution app. And that's when I'd done tapping here and there, but that's when I really developed it as a daily practice. And so I've probably watched dozens of your videos by now, and it's really helped me heal through my body instead of just, I love talk therapy, I love coaching, I love counseling, and we can have so much healing through the body. So I would love to hear from you. How did you first come to tapping as a modality that you wanted to work with?
Yeah. Well, I started as an actor, to go back, and had traveled the world doing theater, and then went to Hollywood to be a movie star, as one does.
Cool.
And while I was there, I met a woman, fell in love, and got married. And when our first child was on the way, I thought I should probably have a backup career. So I trained to become a hypnotherapist because I'd always been fascinated with the power of the mind. And I started doing that. And then after a couple of years, when our second child was on the way, I thought, as much as I love acting, doing personal development work and coaching was really what felt like my calling. This was really what I felt meant to do. So we moved to Northern California, and through some other hypnotherapists, I heard about EFT and went to a conference and took a training with Gary Craig, and just fell in love with this technique and thought, wow, this is so cool. And so little by little, it became my main modality. So my sessions were mostly tapping with a little bit of hypnosis at the end. And for those of you who aren't familiar with EFT, a lot of us call it tapping because we literally tap with our fingertips on our face. And if you're new to it, you may go, okay, that looks weird. Now, in my acting days, I had gone to Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Clown College. So when I learned EFT, that was not the strangest thing I'd ever been asked to do. So it was a little easier for me than other people. So then I just started using it more and more. YouTube came along, and I thought, hey, it would be really cool if there was a tapping video that people could start their day with. And I'll call it Tap of the Morning.
Yeah.
And it was all I intended to do. There was no grand plan of having a YouTube channel. It was just, I'll just put this tapping video out there. And it was another 6 months before I thought, you know, I should probably have Tap of the Evening so people could do some tapping at the end of the day. And then a few months later, had another idea, and then another. And then, as you said, there's over 1,000 videos there now.
I love that. And actually, I did watch an evening tapping meditation about a week ago. Was that the one you came home in a tuxedo after a long night,
Yes.
I guess, at the Oscars? Yes. Okay, that's awesome. It's so funny to see the progression of people's YouTubes. I actually just started my channel Thursday because I wanted to make sure I posted this video there. And I'm sure the progression, you've had your channel over 10 years, I think, right?
Yeah. That first one went up in 2007, so. Yeah,
that's so fun. I really liked that. And I was like, he's a bit of a ham. I like this guy, you know, like dressing up and just pretending and playing dress up. I didn't know until today, actually, when I was watching another one of your interviews that you were an actor before. That's amazing. I'm a dancer, and I've been dancing since I was young. I do hip hop, burlesque, and perform as a drag king, which I love. A lot of people know about drag queens, but not drag kings. So this stage is just a wonderful place to, ham it up and act in character. And so YouTube, I can imagine, would be such a beautiful and creative place for you.
Yeah, I sometimes say, you know, I sometimes call myself a recovering actor, but it's like, no, I'm still an actor. I've just now written, directed, produced, and starred in 1,000 of my own short films.
Yeah, you're 1,000
and
short
some of
films.
them are more theatrical than other ones.
Yeah, I really like that one with the tux, and you just like relax and sink into the couch. It was funny. Oh, so I would love for you to explain not just the scientific, but I believe there's the scientific side and the spiritual side of tapping. And so can you explain what is tapping, and what I know it's so beautiful in metaphysics and spirituality, because the science is really, it's finally closing in and proving what a lot of, spirituality, like, new age, like Louise Hay's saying. And I'm also in a sex, love, and relationship coaching program. So Tantra and Taoism and all that kind of stuff into really merging. So I'd love for you to explain for us what tapping is, like what's the practice, and also what's the science and spirituality behind it.
Yeah. So EFT was originally, in its current form, it was developed by a psychologist named Roger Callahan, who was working with a woman with a lifelong water phobia. And he was doing traditional therapy with her. And he was also at the time learning about acupressure and Chinese medicine, thousands of years of using this process of this energy system where these meridians, these energy pathways flow through the body. And he said, so what is the physical symptom that you experience when you have this water fear? She said, well, I get a knot in my stomach. And he said, okay, so one of the key points for the stomach meridian is right here under the eye. So let's just tap there for a moment and see if we can do something about the knot in your stomach. And not only did the knot in her stomach go away, but so did her lifelong fear of water. And he thought, well, that's fascinating, and started experimenting with different clients, and found that by tapping different meridian points, he was able to clear out the emotional distress. Now we have modern research showing that when we're doing the tapping, we dramatically lower cortisol levels. Mm-hmm. So cortisol is one of the stress hormones. When this part of our brain called the amygdala experiences a perceived threat, we go into fight, flight, or freeze. Sometimes it's very subtle, and it just modifies our behavior slightly. We just turn slightly away from something that could be a great opportunity for us, or could be when we're being intimate with somebody, and there's that thought of, wow, hey, I would really like to be, no, okay. There's that fear response, and we stop ourselves. And so that's that stress response that goes on inside the body. So the tapping is dramatically lowering that stress. So it gives us that freedom to let go of the fear that stops us and to think more clearly. We have fMRI studies showing where stressful triggers light up certain parts of the brain, and then after tapping, those parts of the brain aren't lighting up anymore. So even though for a long time, many of us were just saying, yeah, I tap and I feel better, I know that it works. It's really great to have this validation from all this growing body of research showing that the tapping is actually down-regulating stress. Mm-hmm. In terms of spirituality, that's something we can bring into it. There's something spiritual about the mind-body connection anyway. We are, it's been said, we're not physical beings that have spiritual experiences. We're spiritual beings that are having a physical experience. But it's combined. So that's why with the tapping, we're combining the body-mind. And for many people, that is, in and of itself, a spiritual experience. We can then, in the wording that we use, we can bring in different spiritual thoughts and practices. Like I often tell folks, you can pray while tapping, because there may be a part of us that has some reservations. People may feel reservations about connecting to Source, God, Creator, and the tapping helps us clear that, so we're a much more open channel and feel a much more open connection to Source.
Yeah, definitely. I found I kind of came to tapping more so for like anxiety and anger. And I am a fire energy. I was just told yesterday, and that makes sense that I'm a producer. I'm go, go, go. I'm very fiery, very social. And I can be stuck in this like anxiety do loop. And I find just like meditation, tapping really grounds me. And that's what I love. I love it for so many reasons. It's quick, it's easy, it's self-care that's efficient. So I'm all about that as a type A ex-lawyer, you know what I mean? And it so quickly calms you down so that you can do great problem solving. You can come up with great ideas and then do the actions from a grounded space instead of kind of splattering. Some people say spray and pray when you're just like putting stuff out there in your business and it's not landing with your clients. I know it's a little graphic, but I really love how quickly it grounds. And also, I'm not a super numbers person, but I really like that people gauge from 1 to 10 what you're feeling beforehand and then after, because so much of self-help and self-development you can't quantify. I actually have a journal called the Happiness Journal, and you do rate your week on a scale of 1 to 5 for productivity, stress, calmness, energy, excitement, and all this stuff, which is really nice. And you can see what's high or low at the end of the week and the end of the 100 days for this journal. But often we don't see our progress, and we don't see, I don't really know how meditations necessarily affect me because I'm not quantifying that. I mean, I know they relax me, but that's another thing that I love about tapping. I'm wondering, there's a lot about, I guess, internal confidence type of things, energy, or it's very kind of solitary stuff. How am I explaining this? Like about anxiety, anger, fear, all that kind of stuff. Well, when it comes with interacting with someone in terms of sex, love, and relationships, what do you think the benefits of tapping could be, especially for sexual empowerment, because that's my specific niche?
Right. And I have, I think I have just one video out of 1,000.
I know, and I watched
sex issues. And yeah, so it's always looking at what blocks us, what stops us from expressing ourselves in all kinds of ways with our gifts and talents, but also expressing ourselves sexually, and what kind of shame and old programming might be going on there. And I often talk about what I call the Michelangelo Principle. So Michelangelo's David is my favorite piece of art. And to me, it's a perfect metaphor for this work, because Michelangelo said, the statues are already there inside the marble. All I have to do is chip away what doesn't belong to reveal the masterpiece that's inside. Same with our most empowered self, sexually and otherwise. So as we tap away the shame and the guilt and the misunderstandings, we naturally reveal and show up as our best person, as our best self, and create that freedom to be intimate with our partner in a way that we may not have allowed ourselves to in the past.
Yeah, a lot of clients come to me. I've been niching in this field for a year and I've been a coach for 2 years, and they come to me with all sorts of shameful things that prevent them from climaxing with a partner, but they can by themselves, or looking into their partner's eyes, or sharing what they want in the bedroom. And the beautiful thing about doing embodied practices and doing work in the bedroom is that they're a microcosm of the bigger picture. So if you're judging your body, where does judgment show up outside of the bedroom? If you're controlling, literally I talk about like tensing your muscles and holding your breath in a sexual experience, are you really trying to control other situations outside of the bedroom? And so when we work with the body and heal things in the body, tightness, constriction, pain, numbness, all that kind of stuff through yoni puja, this is pussy worship, if I can say that word to you, and breast massage, it's and through tapping as well, it's a really beautiful thing where, like, my clients, I run a sex goddess school, and they tell me, they're like, I'm showing up differently at work, you know, with my partner. I'm just confidently walking down the street. I'm interacting with people at a coffee shop differently because it brings out confidence, and same with tapping, brings out confidence. The worthiness of feeling pleasure, desire, the worthiness of making more money in our business. I don't know why I didn't fall in love with this before. I was doing it a year ago with Tatiana, my friend who I interviewed actually last week about removing blocks to pleasure. And it's just, I don't know why everyone's not doing it. It's versatile. You can tap on anything. It's quick. It's easy. You can do it anywhere. Like, I know, and you've been spelling the good EFTs, or you've been spouting the good EFT gospel for years, you know? And I love one of your videos that says, you know, it's that quote about when people learn about something new, and I can't remember who it's by, but I'm sure you could say it verbatim. People are really resistant to something. They ignore it, I think was it, and then they really oppose it, and then they accept it as always being true. You can maybe share that.
So Schopenhauer said, all truth goes through 3 stages. First, it is ridiculed. Second, it is violently opposed. Third, it is accepted as having always been self-evident.
I know, right? To me, when I talk about some female sitcoms that I know that, like, you know, a lot of females don't have their own comedy shows specifically, and there's one I love, I say it's like when suitcases got wheels. It should have always been this way. You know what I mean? Like, why did they never not have wheels?
Why have we been carrying this when we could have rolled it?
I mean, honestly. So yeah, I would love to hear if you know of any that are able to be shared, of some really amazing success stories that you've seen. I know there's amazing ones overall with like phobias and pain relief, which I'm really excited to heal more of my pain. And I know Nick Ortner has a book on pain management, and Jessica has a book on tapping with for body confidence that I'm going to get both of those. But in terms of sex, love, and relationships, have you found success stories that you can share of, like, maybe partners that weren't getting along and then they tapped and they had this really intimate relationship, or moments, or like sexual experiences because of doing tapping? Anything like that you could share?
It's not I've worked with people on relationships, not their sexual relationships. So I'm afraid I don't have any statistics on that. I'm sure you can Google it and find people who have done that. I've worked with people on all kinds of different issues and clearing up past traumas, and maybe abuse from the past that had limited them in terms of being intimate, physically and emotionally with other people, and being able to then look back and say, oh, that issue doesn't bother anymore. I'm not blaming myself anymore. I don't feel shame about that anymore. Totally. And certainly in terms of career and money and physical issues of reducing pain, which, is something that can get in the way of physical intimacy. It's like,
oh my God,
do this right now. That hurts.
Yes, literally. Yeah, I would love to hear some examples of people that have cured pains. Like the more I watch videos, the more I see examples of like someone suffering from back pain for 20 years and then it's gone. Like it's just incredible. And, you know, if we're working with the chakra system, you know, my lower back hurts and that's aligned with the stability and also, you know, having sensation in my solar plexus. It was about confidence and willpower and all this kind of stuff. Would you be able to share examples of pain miraculously, but not miraculously, through an amazing tool called EFT Tapping, have been healed?
Right, right. Yeah. I'm not a doctor. I just played one on TV. I saved Sammy's life on Days of Our Lives 25 years ago.
That's amazing. So fun.
But, you know, so I never make any promises. And sometimes more gradual, sometimes pretty quick. One of my favorites was I had a booth at a health fair years ago. And somebody came over and was asking about what I do, and we did some quick tapping because the person their back was hurting. So on a scale of 0 to 10, how much is it hurting? And I said, it's pretty bad. It's about an 8. And we did some tapping, and I said, well, I hope that helps. And they said, yeah, I think so. About 2 or 3 hours later, they came back and they said, I don't know if you know this, but in another part of the park here, there's a dance floor, and we've been over there dancing. What the heck did you do? So, and this guy wasn't feeling any pain in his back. So again, I'm not making any miraculous promises. Chances are that there was something that he was feeling stressed about that was manifesting as tension in his back, and we helped to shift that.
That gives me so much hope. Just being in my master's, so on my second law degree, my first one, my back didn't hurt too much, but just like when you're in a master's, it's you alone with your prof after your few classes are done. And it's just sit, sit, sit. And I was in so much pain. I was taking Advil and Tylenol to sit down. Like it was awful. And as a performing dancer, you can imagine sit, 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 and then go sprint in a dance class, like exert your muscles in a strong, fierce way when they have weakened a lot. It causes a lot of pain. And a lot of it I've been working through, but I do wonder how much it is related to, I would say, spiritually or emotionally to fears of I have to work, like I don't like the hustle mentality. I want to, you know, channel and be grounded and take aligned action in my business, but I have been hustling, and you know, just that sit at a computer station because of the emotions that you fear, right, causes this pain. So I love that connection, and I also love the connection of I understand when working with trauma and harder things from our past, we're able to accept them, but we're doing it in a calm state. I'm not sure too much about the vagus nerve, but I understand we're processing the trauma or the hard, difficult, or negative beliefs while tapping, so we can process it and not avoid it and shun it and separate from it, but we can process it. And my sex, love, and relationship coach would say digest it, so that we're no longer fearing it or that type of thing. Could you elaborate on that? Because I'm just beginning to learn that part.
Yeah. First, real quick on the pain thing. When you consider that most, if not all, of the issues that bother us, physically and emotionally, are either caused by or worsened by stress, then you can understand why a stress relief technique helps us get so many benefits, both emotionally and physically. You know, so much of the pain that we feel is from tension, from these fears. And there are no negative emotions. Fear and anger are not negative. They're uncomfortable, but they have a purpose. They are ways that we tell ourselves, hey, there's something to watch out for. So I like to think of anger is like a smoke detector. It lets us know if there's a fire. So we wouldn't say a smoke detector is a negative thing.
Right.
But what happens is we don't process it. If the fire alarm goes off and it's ringing, and we don't go to find out where the fire is, or we don't put the fire out, then we're just going to keep experiencing this discomfort. And so the tapping helps us to calm down and go, okay, where's the fire? Let me put that out. And then the fire alarm goes off. So it's with all of these things, it's as we calm down, and when we look at trauma, there's a part that says, I need to hang on to this trauma so that I never put myself in this situation again. It's going to protect me. It's a shield. And if I'm not scared, I'll be stupid. That's the fear. The fear is that if I don't have this constant level of fear, that I'll make stupid choices. Now, we can logically know that that's not necessarily true, because most of us, when we cross the street, we look both ways for traffic. We don't stand at the street corner and go, all right, I have to get into a state of panic so that I'll remember to look both ways before I cross the street. We just calmly do it. We know I need to make this good choice to keep myself safe. And we can do that without hanging on to this trauma, but there's a part that says, I can't do that. So when I start to look at that, I'm going to shut down. I'm going to feel this stress. And as I tap, I allow myself to let go of that stress so that I can look at it. And then I can look at the past events, and which I may not have been able to look at clearly. I made a decision about that. That's the way it is. End of story. Can't look at that. And as I tap, I can look back and go, okay, wait a minute. This is one interpretation. Like maybe I decided, well, I deserve to be abused, or there's something wrong with me that this happened. And as we tap, and we can allow ourselves to look and see, oh, that's BS. This person, that person was sick. That person was having a bad day when they yelled at me, whatever it is. But it is not a comment on me. It doesn't define me. And so I can let go of the shame about that. And I do have another video on shame about past abuse, because sometimes when bad things happen to us, we make it, human beings make things mean things about ourselves. It's not what happens, it's our thoughts about it. So if we are physically harmed, if we, cut ourselves, nick ourselves with a knife while cutting up vegetables, it's going to heal. We might go, okay, that was stupid, but we don't generally go, well, obviously I'm a bad person who deserves to be cut. Mm-hmm. But we do take that on with other things. And so there's now an emotional belief that gets stuck. And as we tap, we lower the stress. We can look at that and go, no, that's something that happened, but it doesn't define me. And I don't need to hang on to that. And I don't need to have it stop me from living my most empowered life.
Mm-hmm. I love that, especially because I and so many other women I know, and men too, of course, have faced sexual harassment, sexual assault. And so it, of course, is going to come up in intimate, sexual moments and in relationships, definitely. One of the things I love about tapping is that, yes, I love, my email signature is with love and light, and I love being positive and law of attraction. I saw Abraham Hicks a couple years ago. But the first round of tapping is all about acknowledging what is there and being okay with it. I never read the book, ironically, but in working on anger, I did buy the book, Anger, the Misunderstood Emotion, right? And so, I'm really learning to invite love in, that's easy, but actually not necessarily to receive, but anger, fear.
Very difficult for a lot of people.
Yeah, actually it is. And me too. And things that come up in his body. Are you okay? Okay. Yeah. Here on the Pleasure and Prosperity Show, I drink. Pardon me? You okay?
I said something caught in my throat for a moment. All good.
Okay. Well, I'll take a sip of my fruity water that I drink on the Pleasure and Prosperity Show to feel like a sexy, radiant goddess. Is what I teach. I hope you're okay.
I just have plain old water, so not feeling terribly sexy or radiant,
it's
but at least hydrated.
Well, that is a good way to keep your body healthy. And actually, my water in my fridge, I call it Sex Magic Potion, which is a practice to manifest through sex and self-pleasure. So anyways, I hope I'm teaching you stuff about sexual empowerment today. I would love for you to run us through a tapping round for sexual empowerment. Now, that is such a wide field. So if you are drawn to help us feel more confident and sexy, or feel deserving of pleasure, those would be fun topics. Or shedding shame, or shedding body disgust or body negativity. That's actually what I tapped on last week during this show, because I was really down on my body. And as a burlesque performer, people see my body, and it can be really hard to be intimate with someone else when you're hating your body because of, years and years of decades of, impossible beauty standards being out there, right? So whatever is in your highest excitement, I would love for us to tap on that around sexual empowerment. What would feel good to you if you're up for it?
Excellent. We'll see what shows up, because
Great.
generally when I started tapping around, I have very little idea of what's going to show up. It
Perfect.
happens through me, not from me.
Oh.
So first of all, for anyone who is not familiar with EFT, I'm just going to show you the basics. And what we generally do is we start with whatever is bothering us. We can tap while saying positive things, because we're just clearing out stress and we're creating a greater opening for whatever might come. But in the basic version of EFT, it's designed to clear out whatever is bothering us. So we may say, well, I feel all this anger at myself, or I may feel anger at my body. So I would say, okay, on a scale of 0 to 10, how angry do I feel at my body? Oh, it's an 8. I really overindulged with the sweets last week, and now I'm really regretting that and being angry at myself. And we'd say, okay, and if it's an 8, where do I feel that in my body? Oh, I get this tightness in my throat. So we allow ourselves to be aware of what the issue is, and where we feel it in the body and how intense it is. We would start by tapping on the side of our hand. So with the fingertips of your index and middle finger of your dominant hand, tapping on the side of your other hand, we'd say, even though I'm angry at my body, I choose to love and accept myself. We'll repeat that 3 times, because we're just setting ourselves up to be in a state of self-acceptance, even though this happened. Then we'll tap the eyebrow point, right at the beginning of your eyebrow, and we would repeat the phrase, this anger at my body. And we tap the points generally 5 to 10 times. If we're saying a longer phrase, it might be 20 times. It's okay. It's not like after 10 times it stops working. Next point is the side of the eye. We'd repeat the phrase again. Right under the eye. Right under the nose. Right under the lower lip, just above the chin. Right here where your collarbones just about come together, there's a little bit of a U shape at the base of your throat, and you can tap like that, or you can make a fist and tap where the collarbones just about meet. Next point is about 4 inches below your armpit. That's right about bra strap level. And I'm sure even if any guys are watching this, they can figure out where that is.
Yes, a sexy joke. I love it.
And finally, the top of the head. So just tap with all your fingertips around the crown of your head. And repeating again, this anger at my body. Then you take a deep breath. And you rate it again. Say, okay, how angry do I feel at my body right now? And for some people, it'll go from an 8 to a 0 like that. Be like, I don't need to be angry at myself. I was trying to take care of myself. Self-sabotage is misguided self-love. Don't beat yourself up for the ways that you've been trying to comfort yourself. Just tap so you can find healthier ways to take care of yourself. But appreciate the loving intention. For some, it might go from an 8 to a 7.75. But in the process, it's often like peeling the layers of the onion. And so we might be tapping along and say, this anger at my body, this anger, oh, you know what I'm really angry about is this. And some memory might come up that we've repressed for some time. And now we have an opportunity to clear something that may have been limiting us in all kinds of subtle ways. And, as you said, the things that might limit us in terms of our physical intimacy might also be limiting us at the office. It's been said that how we do anything is how we do everything. So where we set ourselves free in the bedroom also can set us free in the boardroom.
Oh, yes. So, perfect. Yes, totally.
So let's, everyone go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Now that I've shown you the basic version of EFT, now we're going to have some fun with it. So with your eyes closed, go inside and say, I am worthy. Well, let's do this. Say, I love myself. And just rate that on a scale of 0 to 10. 10 being, well, what's not to love? Of course I do. And to the extent that it's not a 10, don't judge yourself harshly. Just allow yourself to get curious and say, oh, okay, why not? What is it about yourself? So maybe something about your body. Maybe it's some shame about something that's happened in the past. What is it that stops you from loving yourself? Because the extent to which you love yourself will play a huge role in how you show up in the bedroom or wherever you choose to indulge.
This is getting better and better. I love it.
Just allowing yourself to be aware of where that number is in terms of how much you love yourself. And you may feel free to change the words and say, I feel sexy, and rate that on a scale of 0 to 10. So whatever the wording you want to use at the moment, and just allow yourself again to be aware of whatever might come up as to why it couldn't or shouldn't be at a 10. Take a deep breath. Let it go. Open your eyes. And then just tap where I tap and repeat what I say. Even though I limit how much I love myself.
I'll just whisper so people can pay attention. Even though I love myself.
I choose to love and honor myself.
I choose to love and honor myself.
Even though I limit how much I love myself.
Even though I limit how much I love myself.
I choose to love and honor myself.
I choose to love and honor myself.
Even though I limit how much I love myself.
Even though I limit how much I love myself.
And that in turn limits my sexual empowerment. It limits how free I feel when I'm being intimate.
It limits how free I am when I'm being intimate.
And I choose to knock that off.
And I choose to knock that off.
And even though I limit how much I love myself, I choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. And maybe anyone else who's contributed to this. All these limits to loving myself. All these ways that I block myself from loving myself. All these reasons why I couldn't or shouldn't love myself more. And all the ways that limits me with intimacy. And all the ways that I might feel shame. And I choose to have shame not be welcome in the bedroom. In fact, I choose to release it from all of my life. And I love and appreciate those parts of me that have held on to shame in the past. Believing that that was necessary. I don't feel shame in an attempt to hurt myself. I do it in an attempt to protect myself. Some part of me is afraid that if I don't feel shame, I'll make mistakes. And I'll get hurt. So I love and appreciate that part of me.
I love and appreciate that part of me. Is the cat visiting?
My wife needed something from this room.
Oh, hello. Thanks for having Brad on my show.
All this need for shame.
All this need for shame. And stationary supplies.
Yeah. I love and appreciate those parts of me
I love and appreciate those parts of me
that felt I needed that.
that felt I needed them.
I'm giving myself permission now
I'm giving myself permission now
to process that.
to process that.
I can find better ways to take care of myself.
I can find better ways to take care of myself
Rather than feeling the shame.
rather than feeling the shame.
All the ways that I tell myself I'm not good enough.
All the ways I tell myself I'm not good enough.
All the ways that I tell myself I'm unworthy.
All the ways I tell myself I'm unworthy.
I choose to move through that
I choose to move through that
because it's a total misunderstanding.
because it's a total misunderstanding.
I am worthy and deserving of pleasure,
I'm worthy and deserving of pleasure,
both giving and receiving it.
both giving and receiving it.
And I choose to clear what gets in the way of that.
And I choose to clear what gets in the way of that.
Because that's not serving anybody.
Because that's not serving anybody.
I was given a body that experiences pleasure.
I was given a body that experiences pleasure.
I'm probably meant to do that.
I'm only meant to do that.
So I'm clearing what stops me,
So I'm clearing what stops me.
giving myself permission to experience pleasure.
Giving myself permission to experience pleasure.
I am a magnificent child of the universe,
Magnificent child of the universe.
worthy and deserving of the best this world has to offer.
Worthy and deserving of the best this world has to offer.
And there are plenty of examples of that.
And there are plenty of examples of that.
Right now, I'm breathing.
Right now, I'm breathing.
Every time I inhale, I'm asking for oxygen.
Every time I inhale, I'm asking for oxygen.
And every single time, the universe says yes.
Every single time, the universe says yes.
That's the universe telling me that it finds me worthy and deserving.
The universe is telling me it finds me worthy and deserving.
It doesn't ask me how much money I make.
It doesn't ask me how much money I make.
It didn't ask me what the bathroom scale said this morning.
Oh, it didn't ask me what the bathroom scale said this morning.
It gives me what my body needs,
It gives me what my body needs.
what my body desires,
My body desires.
regardless of anything.
Regardless of anything.
I am inherently worthy and deserving
I'm inherently worthy and deserving
of things that feel good.
of things that feel good.
And the more I allow myself to feel that good,
And the more I allow myself to feel that good,
the better that is for anyone I'm intimate with.
the better that is for anyone I'm intimate with.
It's a win-win situation.
It's a win-win situation.
And it makes a difference in how I show up in other places.
It makes a difference for how I show up in other places.
The more I acknowledge how worthy I am of love,
The more I acknowledge how worthy I am of
exactly as I am right now.
Exactly how I am as I am right now.
The more empowered I am to share the gift that I am.
The more empowered I am to share the gift that I am.
In the bedroom and elsewhere.
In the bedroom and elsewhere.
And I choose to love that about myself.
And I choose to love that about myself.
I may have a lot of old reasons why I don't love myself more.
I may have a lot of old reasons why I don't love myself more.
But there's no good reason not to love myself.
There's no good reason not to love myself.
So I'm clearing what stops me from loving myself more.
So I'm clearing what's stopping myself from loving myself more.
I'm allowing myself to love the heck out of myself.
I'm allowing myself to love the heck out of myself.
Which gives me more freedom to love the heck out of other people.
More freedom to love the heck out of other people.
Including my intimate partner.
Including my intimate partner.
And we both deserve that.
And we both deserve that.
I am worthy and deserving of love.
I'm worthy and deserving of love.
Releasing any remaining doubts about that.
Releasing any remaining doubts about that.
Clearing up any old confusion about that.
Clearing up any old confusion about that.
Loving myself so much that I take better care of myself.
Loving myself so much that I take better care of myself.
And that helps me take better care of my partner.
It helps me take care of my partner.
I'm allowing myself to love myself much more.
I'm allowing myself to love myself much more.
In body, mind, and spirit.
In body, mind, and spirit.
And take a deep breath. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and say, I love myself. Or, I feel sexy, or whatever wording you were using.
I feel sexy.
Hopefully that number has come up. Cool. Thank you very much for all the lovely comments that have been going on, and greatly appreciate the really kind comments. Thank you.
Oh, thank you everyone for all the love. Thank you, Brad, for that amazing session. Tapping, I love, it's so versatile, and you can, I believe it's called free tap, like whatever comes up for you. And I think a lot of those phrases were just so wonderful. I mean, body confidence with worthiness and pleasure and desire and giving and receiving pleasure, and pleasure being your birthright and worthiness being your birthright, like the part about the scale, and you get oxygen and the universe always says yes to you. You know, you are worthy regardless of your weight and what's going on for you. That was really, oh, I love. Thank you, Brad, and all the comments. Oh, the tears are flowing. Yes, I almost teared up at one point. Which I'm not against. I was actually yawning in the one last week because that's a way of energy moving out, and I knew she wouldn't be offended with Tatiana last week. But beautiful, love that this has been so meaningful for everyone. I would love to lead you through about 5 sentences through a tapping round. Would that be okay, really quick?
Absolutely.
That's amazing. So I have this meditation. It's about 5 minutes long. And it's called the Sexy Radiant Goddess Activation Meditation. And so I've memorized the first few sentences, and I think it'd be really fun to do it in tapping. So we'll just start at the eyebrow front really quickly and say, I am sexy.
I am sexy.
I'm radiant.
I'm so glad my wife didn't walk in at this. Yeah, sure you are.
Yes.
Yeah. I am radiant.
I am a goddess or a god or a magical creature.
I'm a god.
Yes. I
and goddess.
Yes, I activate my god or goddess or magical self without even trying.
I activate that without even trying.
I'm so worthy of pleasure.
I am so worthy of pleasure.
I'm so worthy of prosperity.
I am so worthy of prosperity.
I am a sexy, radiant goddess or god or magical creature.
I'm a sexy, radiant being.
I am a sexy, radiant being.
I'm a sexy, radiant being.
Taking a deep breath in mind, body, and spirit. Infusing sexual energy and the deservingness of pleasure to everyone on this call and between time and space, all the people who will watch this video in the future. This was so special. I'm just like telling myself, be present. This was such an amazing opportunity. I love being fun with you and joking around, and talking about sex openly is so important. And even saying the P word, I was like, I hope I don't offend him. So thank you so much. This is a super important topic, and it's not often related.
I'm an adult.
Pardon me?
I'm an adult. I can handle the language.
Right, exactly. Thank you. Perfect. And that's what we need. We need to be open about this stuff. So because there's not a lot of sexual empowerment stuff on tapping on YouTube, I will be creating some videos, and this will be such a beautiful piece to put on YouTube. And I'm so excited to have had you here. We will eventually get the Instagram 2-minute minus warning, but I would love for you to share any promotions that you want to do, any, like your website's tapwithbrad.com. I know you have an advanced program, and you're tapping with your challenge bonus call today. Anything you'd like to promote, I'd love for you to share everything and anything.
Yes, thank you. Yes, coming up at 1:00 p.m. Pacific today, I do have a live Facebook presentation. You can find out about that at tapwithbrad.com/challenge. It's the last day of the Freedom to Success Challenge that I've been doing over the past 2 weeks. So yeah, come tap. If you want to do some more tapping with me today, then by all means. But and at tapwithbrad.com, you can find everything else. So thank you so much for this. Thank you for what you do. And I would love for you to make sexual empowerment tapping videos, because that's not really what people want to come to my channel to see.
Fair enough. Or my channel.
But middle-aged white man, hey, sexual empowerment.
I mean, you never know, but yeah, I know.
You never know. Limiting belief, I'm sorry. But you may be a better conduit for that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, everyone, you are a magnificent child of the universe, worthy and deserving of the best this life has to offer, including pleasure. When you breathe, the universe says yes. If you take a deeper breath, it still says yes. It doesn't say, no, you're not good enough for more breath. You only get a little bit. It gives us what we ask for and what we allow, because we have to allow it too.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We have to do the work of inhaling, taking the breath, trusting that it will be there for us. Definitely. Since I haven't got the Instagram cutoff time yet, I just want to ask one last question. Why are you so passionate about tapping and spreading the word about tapping?
I feel so blessed. I love what I do. I love my life. I know how tapping has benefited that, and I want other people to experience that. I want other people to enjoy life as much as I'm enjoying it. And so how could I not? I have this opportunity. It's like, how can I not, put this out there and make it available, recognizing that some people are going to go, oh, that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. You look like an idiot. It's like, yeah, but someone else is going to go, oh my God, this changed my life. And show up in a way that they share their gift with the world in a much bigger way. And this thing is, I'm a gift unwrapper. Helping people unwrap their gifts to share them, and certainly you can take that into the whole sexual, see, unwrapping the gift that you are and sharing
That's
it.
True. Totally.
So,
oh, that's really beautiful. You can see how much love and gratitude, like at the end of your videos when you say thank you for tapping with me, and thank you for doing that today, because you are going to be kinder, and the ripple effect, you're going to share your gifts to all the people that are around you in your community, your family, your partners. Just really so beautiful. Your energy is amazing. It's fun, it's gentle, it's giving, it's grateful. It was such a pleasure spending time with you today. I know. And as we say in the Pleasure Prosperity Show, hair flip.
I almost have enough hair to flip. Yeah.
I love it. Oh, thank you so much, Brad, for everything. I will post this and I'll link it to you, of course. And I would be more than happy. A lot of people are asking me to post videos on tapping for sexual empowerment. My channel, for everyone to know, I just started it last week. It's it's Sexual Empowerment with Michelle Zackerson on YouTube. I will be getting to 100 subscribers and then have it youtube.com/Michelle Zackerson eventually. I'm at 35. I'm new. So I'm really happy to get to that number, and just thank you everyone who showed up for me, for us today, in community, to tap and heal and up-level their pleasure, their sexuality, their relationships, and their love. Thank you so much for everyone to be here. And remember, as I tag my tagline to sign off, I believe in you, I believe in me, I love you, I love me. Bye. Take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.